Juan D. Salgado wrote, "Please do yourself and us a favor and watch and comment on The Expanse." I'll do it after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and I had a chance to see the first episode of The Expanse. This is right now being streamed on Amazon Prime, but the third season is going to start on April 11th. The Expanse is based on a series of books with the pen name of James S.A. Corey. And the setting is 200 years from now, and our main characters, at least from the first episode that I've seen, were Detective Miller, who is looking into a kidnapping, and an acting executive officer whose name is Holden on this freighter. Now, to kind of catch you up on it without giving any spoilers in here, the society that is set up 200 years from now is where Earth has populated all of the habitable planets. So there's a moon base, there is civilization on Mars, and of course there's still people on Earth, and predictably they've used up all the resources, especially the water resources. So water becomes the big thing that is what everybody wants. It's the currency of the day, if you will. And so one of our main characters, Mr. Holden, is an acting executive officer on one of these ships that harvest ice crystals from the asteroid belt. And everybody that works and lives in the asteroid belt are called belters. And then you have the people who are from Earth and from Mars and from the moon and from other places that are depending on this water. So this is an interesting story of class differences from the worker people who are gathering the ice that will then be made into water on the planets for people to waste. And then the dichotomy between the rich people on the inner planets and the poor people who are out working the belters. So that's kind of where we sit. Now, we have this, and we also have kind of a detective drama going on at the same time. This missing person from Detective Miller, who's looking for this rich person's daughter who is lost somewhere out in the belt. And it involves other ships. There's a whole cast of people that are involved in this. Now, I can't give you too much about the story, first of all because I don't want to spoil it, and second because I don't have anything really to go on except the first episode, and I'm not really caught up with the story. I am told that it takes about 3 or 4 episodes before you can kind of catch up with what all the stories are. But that's okay because we have a lot to talk about as far as the atmosphere of this. I love the way that this is put out. The Expanse is a good name for it because everything looks big. They say, Douglas Adams says, space is big, real big. You may think it's a long way down the corner to the chemist, but it's nothing compared to space. That is exactly how this works. All of the photography, the special effects make everything seem big and distant and different, and the inside of the ships to be cramped and without amenities. And so it's rather interesting. It gives me the same feel of Blade Runner. You have the detective angle on there. You have kind of the lower class that are living in the more deteriorating conditions, having to do the hard work. And you have kind of the detective that is kind of both worlds, but of neither. So that kind of gives an insight there. Some people have also compared it with Firefly and the idea that everything, there are no monsters, it's all humans, it's all basically people who began on Earth who have populated this, our solar system. There's no hyperlight, there's no incredible technology that would be pure fantasy as from what we know now. The physics as we know it are pretty consistent. So it's interesting to me. I recommend it to you even after the first viewing. I think that this universe is something maybe I wouldn't want to live in, but I do kind of want to follow. I kind of want to see how they do it, because if you liked the programs like what was the one that Woody Harrelson was in on I don't remember. What was Woody Harrelson in? There's a realness about it. There's a feeling of being there. It may not be the ride that you want on the Orville, where everybody is happy and everybody is joking around with each other and they're on this brightly lit ship. This is another one of those dim things. Some people were saying that, they would have liked Discovery better if it were not Star Trek. Well, if you take this, I think that this is where it is. This is the serialized, the dark, the underside kind of idea, but it's a little more believable. It's without the Star Trek-y ideas and fantasy elements that give it a very real feel to it. And while it's not as violent as Blade Runner or as cynical as Blade Runner, for instance, I still feel that atmosphere very much contributes to it. I think it's a good show. I'm going to continue watching, and we'll be talking about that here and there in this series of videos. So, if you have seen The Expanse, I'd like to hear what you think about it. Do you like it? Is it something that you want to watch? Are you keeping up with it, or do you want to start? I'd like to start a conversation on The Expanse. So why not join us down below and make a comment? And while you're there, if you'll click the subscribe button, maybe click a like or ring that bell, and you'll know when the next video comes out, that would all be highly appreciated. So until next time, don't go far.